Welcome to Let's Talk About Leadership, Service, and Sisterhood.
A podcast sponsored by California Rainbow.
Founded in 1922, Rainbow is a premier service organization for young girls ages 8 to 21. In California, we have approximately 60 assemblies.
These young leaders learn the importance of serving others and gaining lifelong sisterhoods. Learn more at gocarainbow.org.
Welcome back to the Let's Talk About Leadership, Service, and Sisterhood podcast, a California IORG production. I'm Colleen Weaver, your facilitator, and today we're going to talk to a couple of our girls who happen to be former Shriners patients in part 1 of 2, celebrating Shriners Children's Hospital and their 100 years of serving children. Let's get to it. All right, I'm joined now by 2 former patients of Shriners here in California, Emma and Ellie. They both also happen to be California Rainbow girls. And I just wanted to talk to you 2 a little bit about your individual experiences and see if we can touch on some similarities there and find out what about Shriners helped your life. So Ellie, can I start with you? You want to tell us a little bit about your experience with Shriners?
Sure. So in 2010, I found out I had scoliosis just with a local doctor. And after my curve progressed very aggressively over the next 2 years, I was referred to several doctors and a neurosurgeon, but they all treat just adult patients. So eventually I was referred down to Shriners because they specifically focus on children. And that's when I really found a doctor that actually knew what was going on with me now that was still a growing child instead of just an adult who was the height that they are permanently and could be worked on by a doctor who knew what to expect in an adult. I got to experience just somebody who focused on kids and knew about kids. And in 2012, I had 2 back surgeries at Shriners Hospital. I spent almost a month collectively in the hospital there. It was corrective surgery. They fused my back together and put 2 rods in, and I still have those today. And I spent about a week the first time and then had to go back with some complications from the first surgery and spent some more time in the hospital after that. And since then, everything's been great. I've gone to a couple outpatient appointments, but now being an adult, they've let me go as a patient, even an outpatient. So I don't see them at the Shriners Hospital anymore, but if I needed to, I could always reach back out to them and my surgeon with any questions.
Wonderful. And Emma, you were a little younger when you started with Shriners, correct?
Yeah, I was an idiopathic tiptoe walker, which pretty much means there was no reason behind me doing it. Like, my mom said she would see me on the playground and I'd be standing on point, all the time, just walking around and so we went and saw a bunch of pediatricians and all those doctors, and they all said, she'll grow out of it eventually. It'll go back to normal. And it didn't, until finally we went to Shriners and they offered the solution. And so I had surgery. Don't exactly remember when, sometime in 2014. I just remember being in 3rd grade, and I'm not sure what they did, but they corrected it somehow in my legs. I have scars on the side of my calf. I think that's what that is, lower down towards my foot. And now I walk perfectly flat. After surgery, I had physical therapy for a year, 2 years. And well, now I can walk flat perfectly fine. And I mean, if there's any issues, obviously I can go back and talk to them. But yeah.
Right. The nice thing about Shriners is they don't charge you for any of this. And both of your types of surgery would run out quite a bit of money there, I know. So in your experience there, I mean, did it feel like it was your traditional hospital setting, white coats and scary for a kid, or was there something special about Shriners? Either one of you can answer.
For me, it felt special. When you go in for your outpatient appointments, they have the Shriners clown sitting in the front, and they're there to kind of break the tension of a normal doctor's office. And being an inpatient, they brought therapy dogs around so we could pet the dogs and see them. And I got pretty close with my surgeon. It didn't seem necessarily like a doctor patient. I knew that I could ask her any question. She was always going to be honest with me and just really down to earth. And it wasn't very strict. Also, the food was way better than they say hospital food is. Like, I felt just definitely treated super special. There were playgrounds, tons of toys. When I went, it was Christmas in July and Santa came around and they gave us presents and we got to take pictures with Santa. You could tell that they were definitely just geared towards the kids and cared about them.
Wonderful. Emma, did you have any unique experience with them?
Yeah, I remember, well, I don't remember it, but my mom always said, like, when I woke up, there was like you know, the therapy animals, there were therapy dogs. I had a therapy bunny on my lap, like pretty soon out of surgery. I liked that I was able to wear my own pajamas and not have to wear like the hospital gowns and stuff. Like, I had my own nightgown that I was allowed to wear. I had a crown. My hair was all pretty. My mom got somebody to visit as Princess Anna. So I got visited by Princess Anna while I was there. And she did face paint and all of that. And I still have like trading cards from like, because they used to give like little cards for the animals. And I think there's somewhere in my room. I have one from like a couple of the dogs there. And yeah, it was definitely an experience that I feel like I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. And it makes Shriners special. And yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to be talking with Cassie Ray in a little bit. She's actually my daughter who also spent some time there. And I know she absolutely loved the ping pong tables and the air hockey tables that they have there. I think it's on the same floor where the cafeteria is. And she agrees with you. The food was much better there than anywhere else. So thank you both for being here this evening to talk about this with us. And if you can think of anything else you want to share, please feel free to do so now before we, kind of close everything out. Anything else?
It's less about my experience with the hospital, but like my connection like after with Rainbow.
Okay.
A couple of years back, it was 2019. We had an OV there, my area, and we like painted a mural. It's still there, like by the playground that was donated that was a past Grand Service project, the playground there. And we have like a mural on the wall. It's like a bunch of handprints and it's still there. And it's really cool. Like every time, like I'd go back for visits and I'd always go up there and take a picture on the playground by the mural. And we donated like a bunch of blankets and stuff. And it's just, I like keeping the connection with them because they're dear to my heart. And, it's just, yeah.
Yes, in 1997, Rainbow donated a playground that is there on the facility. And as Emma's saying, we did paint a mural. We all of us that were there that day have our handprints on that wall. It's a handprint rainbow and it's very beautiful. And it's just something to brighten the day for the kids that are there. All right. I think that'll give us what we need, girls. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you sharing and taking the time to let us know how Shriners has impacted you and made your life better. Thank you for joining us on our Let's Talk About Leadership, Service, and Sisterhood podcast today for part 1 of 2 regarding Shriners Children's Hospitals and their 100 years of serving children. Stay tuned for part 2.